And here we are back with some geometry, chapter 11, section 2, areas of circles and sectors. Alright, so quick review. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, so that's the entire area, where this is the radius from the center to the outside. Now, if I want the area of just a sector, right? Just a part. Let's start with an easy example where you instantly know, okay, how much of the circle this is. If I want to know this area right here, okay, well, we know that that's a fourth of the entire area, so we could say that's the area times 1/4, or 1/4 of the area. Where did I get 1/4? Well, this is 90 degrees. And the entire circle is 360, so that's the area times 90 degrees over 360. So the area of a sector, is the area of the circle times the central angle over 360. Alright, there we go. That's how you get the area of a sector. Okay, for the area of a circle, if you're given the radius, not a big deal. Pi r squared, plug that in. Diameter, remember that the diameter is 2 times the radius, so you'd have to split that in half. Okay, we want to find the diameter. So we can find the radius, and then we would have to double the radius. Alright, so for the area for A, pi r squared, and then just plug 2.5 in for r and calculate. For finding the diameter when we're given the area, okay, we're going to plug in for A, 113, plug that in right here, and then solve for r. Okay, divide by pi, find the square root, and then you have r is 6, but we want to know the diameter, so if r is 6, then d is approximately 12. Okay, so make sure you're reading closely what the instructions say. Okay, when we're talking about population density, that means how many people live in a certain area. So the formula is the number of people divided by the area of land. And usually it's indicated as in a 3-mile radius or in a 10-mile radius. There are this many people. So radius means they're measuring a circle, right, around a certain place. So about 430,000 people live in a 5-mile radius of a city's town hall. So here's town hall. There's 5 miles back there. And then in that 5-mile radius, there are 430,000 people. Okay, find the population density in people per square mile. So population density is number of people divided by the area of land. So first we'd have to find what's the area. Okay, area is pi times the radius squared, so 5 squared. So that's 25 pi. Okay, and then the number of people is 430,000. So we do 430,000 divided by 25 pi, and that comes to approximately 5,475. 5,475. That's people per square mile. Alright, then we are looking at B. A region with a 3-mile radius has a population of about 6,195 people per square mile. Find the number of people who live in the region. Okay, so again, I have population density, but this time I know the population density, so that is 6,195. We want to find the number of people. Alright, so number of people, P, over the area of land. We have a 3-mile radius, so pi r squared. R squared is 9, so that's 9 pi. This time we have to multiply each side by 9 pi times 9 pi, and that gives us P is approximately 175,159. Okay, that's population density. All right, let's look at the area of sectors. All right, remember earlier I said the area of a sector is the area times the angle divided by 360. Right, so the total area of the circle, and that's pi r squared times the angle over 360. So we'll have pi, the area of the sector, is pi times radius is 8 inches, 8 squared times the angle here is 70 degrees over 360. So I want to find the areas of the sectors. So I'll find this small one first, and then I know that the big one is the rest of it. That gives me pi times 64 times 70 over 360. It's about 39.10 inches squared. And then for the rest of it, I can either find the entire area and subtract this, or I can just find the angle of this by saying 360 minus 70, which leaves me with 290 over 360. And we're going to multiply that times pi times 8 squared, or pi times 64, and that comes out to be approximately 161.97 square inches. All right, if I want to use that sector, if I know the area of the sector is this much, and I want to find the entire area of the circle. Okay, remember we have area of the sector is area times the angle over 360. Okay, well, the area of the sector area of sector is this. Well, we don't know the area of the circle now, so we're going to multiply by 360. We're going to multiply by the inverse, 360 over the angle, all right, by 360 over the angle. Okay, we will plug in. We know 360 and the angle is 40. The area of the sector is 35, and that will give us the area of the circle. All right, plug that, and that is 315 meters squared. That's the area of the circle. Okay, now we have a composite figure here, and we want to find we want to paint this right here. And we want to know how much paint we need, so we need to find how much area are we painting. Well, there's a doorway cut out here, so we don't need to paint the whole 36 by 26, right? We can subtract this. So the idea is we take the big wall and then we subtract the doorway. Now the doorway is made up of a rectangle and a semicircle. Okay, so that rectangle is actually a square. So this is 16 by 16. And that means the diameter here is 16, so the radius of this is 8. And we know this is not correct. Yes, it is. Sorry, I was confused briefly. This says 10, but 10 means all the way to the top. Okay, not just to the top of the semicircle. Because we know that this section here is 8. Okay, so that's 8. We're subtracting that. This is 36 by 10 plus 16, so by 26. So 36 times 20 minus a semicircle, right? We could say a half, or 180 over 360 if we're talking in terms of a sector, times pi r squared. So again, 8 squared here, and then plus, so these go together, that's this shape, plus the 16 times 16. All right, and that's 936 minus half of 64 is 32 pi, plus 16 squared is 256. All right, type that in your calculator and you get approximately an area of 579.47. And that is in feet squared. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of fun for everyone. Good times. Check in again next time for another fun lesson.